Wealth, fame, power.
What's going on? It's your host Tokyo Tron, and welcome to episode number 7 of Power Scaling all of One Piece. So this episode, I'm gonna cover every single character that was introduced in the Reverse Mountain arc, and as One Piece fans, you guys know Reverse Mountain is very short. In fact, it's so short that it only spans around 4 chapters or so. Since this arc is so short, I'm gonna take this opportunity to make a few changes to my tier list. I saw a couple of you guys making some comments about this, and I definitely noticed it too, and it's mid-tier. So there's a huge problem with mid-tier on my tier list, and the first is that it's overpopulated. And not just that it's overpopulated, there's also a huge disparity in strength from the top of mid-tier to the bottom of this tier. I'm still confident and happy with the order that the characters are ranked in, but I agree with this point that we need to spread things out a bit to fix this. So what I'm gonna do is move everyone between Kurobi and Richie down 1 tier from mid tier, so they're gonna all occupy low mid tier. And then I'm gonna move Usopp, who was formerly by himself in low mid tier, to the top of low tier. Again, I'm not changing the order of any of the characters. I think the ordering was fine, but I just moved everyone down a tier so I could more accurately represent the difference in strength. Now that I got that slight tier list update out of the way, I can get into scaling every single character introduced in Reverse Mountain, even though there were only like 2 new characters here. But you guys might as well go ahead and drop a like before I get started, because I know you're gonna love the video anyway, and that's a fact.
Believe it!
So first off, I'm gonna cover the whale Laboon. Off rip, this dude is just absolutely massive. He's recorded as being 400 meters in length, which for all you NA people is 1,312 feet. And just as a quick calc of Laboon's weight, we can use a blue whale from the real world. Now, a blue whale from the real world is approximately 80 feet and 125 tons. This means that we could approximate Laboon to be 2,050 tons. Again, Laboon's weight in actuality could be a bit higher, a bit lower, because we don't actually know his weight based on Oda, but seeing as Laboon's a whale, this is probably the best way we can estimate his weight since we don't have an official number. And now you're probably thinking, yes, Laboon's massive, but what does this have to do with scaling Laboon? And you're right, that's a good question, because it doesn't help scale Laboon at all. It's really only useful to scale Luffy and also some characters that are relative to Luffy. And here's how. So Luffy was able to move Laboon just a little bit with a basic punch. This means that Luffy at the minimum can push 2,050 tons with a punch. So again, however you scale Luffy and whoever you scale relative to Luffy, they should be doing the same kind of feats if they can clash and struggle with Luffy. But anyway, now to things that actually help scale Laboon. So on Laboon's first appearance, he just swallowed the Straw Hat pirate ship whole, and that was wrapped for them. I mean, if Laboon wasn't hollow or didn't have a door built into him, the Straw Hats would have died and One Piece would have been over right then and there. Laboon just eating your whole fleet or ship is a really high possibility based on the circumstance. And besides this feat, the only other one we have in this arc is his quasi fight with Luffy. And again, it's really ambiguous to scale Laboon here. And that's because this fight with Luffy, as I just mentioned, wasn't really a fight. So Luffy punches Laboon, Laboon's able to react and counterattack Luffy. But when Laboon hits Luffy, Luffy gets flung all the way back straight into a wall, and he's seemingly pretty roughed up by it. Then Luffy got up saying it was a tie and they would fight again. The reason why this is ambiguous is because it was clear Luffy wasn't really trying to severely harm Laboon, but Laboon did rough him up with just a basic attack. And even though it was a tie, we all know that they weren't really going all out, so was it really a draw? But either way, just have to take this quick squabble into account because how else can I really scale Laboon? I'm really not sure where to put him because given the circumstances, it's a negative and he just eats you. But with Luffy's fight and the portrayal within the fight, we at least know that Laboon can be beaten. For now, I'm gonna put Laboon in high mid tier. I might reconsider Laboon's placement, so let me know what you think about Laboon in the comment section down below. But for now, let's move on to a character that's a lot easier to scale, Crocus. So we can break down Crocus into 3 categories: physical feats, portrayal within the arc, and portrayal in the general story. So the first and easiest is physical feats. So to break down the situation, there's this giant squid that's tearing up the Going Merry, and this squid seemingly has Zoro and Sanji shook. Then Crocus is able to throw a fish hook which pierces the squid, one-shots it, and then he drags it all the way back to his little island. So this is pretty impressive out of an old retired doctor, even though we know Crocus is much more than that. But again, just a nice physical feat that we could use to help scale Crocus. And then his next thing is he jumps and tanks 2 cannonballs. Again, this isn't super impressive because people in One Piece can easily deal with cannons, but either way, still 2 semi-impressive feats out of Crocus. And now I want to talk about his portrayal in the arc, and this is mainly how he deals with Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy. So with Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy, he's not impressed by any of them, at least strength-wise. He does see potential in Luffy, and I guess his crew as being the people Roger were waiting for, but he doesn't really see anything from them strength-wise. And then Zoro and Sanji, Crocus absolutely disrespects them, he doesn't care, and he seemingly is confident in his ability to take care of them. So for these reasons alone, I'm confident with Crocus being above the monster trio at this point in the arc. And next I want to talk about Crocus's overall portrayal in the story. You guys probably already know where this is gonna go. Crocus was on the Pirate King's crew. So Crocus wasn't a commander most likely, we don't know, he could have been, but probably not. Even though he wasn't a commander, I'd still bet that he's probably pretty strong in the crew. We have the least information about this, but I'd be pretty confident to say that Prime Crocus may be pushing commander level, maybe around, I'd say YC4, potentially pushing YC3 or at least right below commander level. So now the question is just, how much weaker do you think Crocus has gotten? I'm not really sure how much weaker he's gotten, but I know for a fact he should be above the monster trio at this point in the story. So for now, I'm putting Crocus in low-high tier right below Smoker. This could also change since we don't really know that much information about Crocus, and once we get more information about Roger's crew as a whole, I can probably more accurately rank him. And that's it. Those were the only 2 new characters introduced in Reverse Mountain, so now I'll do a quick wrap up to the tier list with the addition of these characters. So first we got Laboon in high mid tier, then we have Crocus in low high tier, and now I'll just scroll up to the top showing the rest of the tier list so far. That's all for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, that's just my take. Now let me hear yours in the comments section down below. And to stay up to date with all my future content, make sure to like and subscribe.